Howdy everybody, this is Luke the Supertramp here again with the top 30 songs of 2018. Let's get right into it. At number 30 we have Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. To say that Ariana Grande has had a tough year is an absolute understatement. She's been through a lot, and I think that Thank You Next is just the culmination of all those things coming together, wrapped up in a perfect pop tune, and put out for millions to hear. And I for one thoroughly enjoyed it, as it's obviously on this list right now. I think that Ariana Grande showed so much maturity by putting this song out, and it makes me really excited to see what else she has in the future. She's shown time after time that she's constantly growing into the pop star that she has become, and I think she'll make some really good music as time goes along. But until then, Thank You Next. At number 29 we have Mount Erie's Now Only. I talked about it on my top 30 albums of 2018 list, really enjoyed it, thought it was a great follow-up to A Crow Looked at Me. And this song in particular stuck out to me just because of how it takes death and brings it into a very easy way to understand it. Phil Elverum just kind of explains that death happens all the time. Not to mention that it is almost comical in the way of how much he's able to simplify this complex and hard to understand thing. And I think it's a great turn for the band itself too. I mean, A Crow Looked at Me is a fantastic album, but it is darkly and deeply depressing. While Now Only feels like it has a lot more fun in it. Yes, Phil's still going through a lot with the loss of his wife, but he's kind of taken that sadness and turned it into something different. Really enjoyed this track, go give it a listen. Number 28, we have This Is America by Childish Gambino. A fantastic take on the political scene in America right now, as well as Gambino showing off his support for different organizations that are trying to make the world better. Not to mention, it was released with such a fantastic music video that has tried to be deciphered, critiqued, and really just understood in general for the past 6-7 months. I mean, you couldn't go online without seeing a new article about, oh, you missed this in the new This Is America video. This is Childish Gambino's way to come in and flex on the rest of the competition and show that he is still king. Number 27, we have the hard-hitting Black Paint by Death Grips. Overblown bass and guitar riffs riffle throughout the song as MC Ride just screams at the top of his lungs, and more or less that just makes it another Death Grips song. But this track just makes you want to get up and punch a wall, or mosh like you've never been in a mosh pit before. Another fantastic track released by Death Grips, and probably one of the more easy, more constructed listens that they have that could definitely be enjoyed by a casual listener of music. 26 sees Mac Miller's What's the Use. What's the Use reminds me a lot of the track Dang with Anderson .Paak, and I think that that's where most of me liking this song is rooted from. It has an awesome vibe and feel to the song, and lyrically I think it's one of Mac's better outings on Swimming. Definitely a good track that I recommend. At number 25, it's Chance the Rapper's I Might Need Security. Chance is back, he dropped 4 of these singles on the same day. It was awesome, but this was the standout song on top of an awesome beat. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it means you haven't heard the song yet, because you will not forget it. Chance is extremely political in this track, talking about all the activism that he's taken part in Chicago, as well as announcing his support of different politicians, announcing that he bought the Chicagoist. Not to mention, it's actually just a fun track overall. Marijuana's Theme by Sleep is number 24. Just another classic stoner rock track. Long wailing guitars, attacking back and forth at each other, aggravated and angry lyrics, and just another long drawn-out adventure by Sleep. Great stoner rock track if you're looking to get into that kind of music. At number 23, it's Mr. Tillman by Father John Misty. This is definitely one of the more pop-oriented tracks that Father John Misty has done, but that does not take away from any of it. In fact, it makes it even better. Fun chord progressions, whistling in the background, and overall a very melodic feel to the song, and a very funny story throughout the lyrics of it. Yet another great track by Father John Misty. At 22, it's What Would Meek Do by Pusha T featuring Kanye West. This track off of Pusha T's new Daytona. Fantastic record produced by Kanye West. This track through and through is a lyrical masterpiece. Both Kanye and Pusha T do a fantastic job on this, and the more and more I think about it, I just think it's my favorite track off of that album, and I knew that it had to be on here. Next is Kamasi Washington's Fists of Fury at number 21. Fists of Fury, a fantastic avant-garde jazz track featuring these epic lyrics. I always love a good Kamasi Washington track with lyrics on top of it, and I think that this is probably my favorite one. It's just brought up to an epic scale, and it's just a really, really fun listen. At number 20, it is After the Storm by Kali Uchis featuring Bootsy Collins and Tyler, the Creator. This is an awesome track off of an equally awesome album. This track feels like it could have been taken straight off of Flower Boy and nobody would have noticed the difference. Both of the features on this track mesh so well together, and Kali Uchisa's vocals on top of the chorus and bridges is mesmerizingly beautiful. Overall, a track that just meshes so entirely well. At number 19, it is Television by Idles, a fantastic post-punk track talking all about the dangers and horrible things that social media and the media in general has done, basically saying that they're gonna take their magazines, they're gonna take their TVs, and they're gonna get rid of them. A very post-punk song. But in its brevity, it finds life and excitement, and just overall makes it a great, fun track. Rocky 27 by Don Babylon comes in at number 18. It's a smaller alternative indie rock band. They put out a new album, Foul, this year that I really enjoyed. And for anybody that lives in Philadelphia, this track is for you. This track is really all about them moving to this city and understanding what the do's and don'ts are, and really just kind of experiencing what the Philadelphia thing is all about. Talking about the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, as well as getting their house robbed within the first 2 days on the block. It's just a really fun tune to listen to. I really enjoy it. There are a bunch of these great tracks off this album that I wish I could share more of. At number 17, it is Ocean Song by Daughters. The best way I can describe this track is basically taking some of the best material off of Spiderland by Slint, raising the decibels by about tenfold, and just releasing chaos everywhere. This song is so much fun. I could listen to this to hours on end. It's fantastic industrial rock made to be a headbanger. Number 16, it is Switch It Up by Denzel Curry. This coming off of his new Taboo album. This is a very energetic track on top of these crackling and popping beats. While this song doesn't explore as much sonically as most of the album does, this track is a defiant mainstream hit, and I think that if Denzel were to make a hit off of this album, it would have to be this. Just another well-produced, well put together, fun, energetic, and enjoyable track by Denzel Curry. At number 15, it is Wait by Brockhampton. This is a heavy track, no pun intended. The song opening up with Kevin diving deep into his insecurities growing up as a child, and I think that it's one of the better emotional tracks that Brockhampton has put out, especially off of Iridescence. The song then takes a more fun yet meaningful tone, opting for a more energetic beat, and it pulls through to be one of the better tracks off this album. At number 14, it is Django Jane by Janelle Monáe. This is an awesome cut off her new Dirty Computer album, really taking feminism and stitching it together in such a beautiful and unique way in this song, and expressing empowerment for women all across the world. I think that the lyrics on this track are absolutely brilliant, and yeah, that's about it. It's just a really, really enjoyable, meaningful track, and if you haven't heard it yet, it's a really fun listen from that album. Wide Awake by Parquet Courts comes in at number 12. This is one of the most fun and grooving indie rock tracks that I've heard in such a long time. I mean, I don't know how they even come up with half of these songs that they end up doing. The guitars on this are electric and energetic, and the yelled lyrics that feel like an old Ramones track. I think it's just a wonderful mixture of all of these fun ideas that Parquet Courts likes to take from punk rock, indie rock, alternative, and they turn it into these groovy, jumping tracks. At number 11, it is Lost Souls by Ski Mask the Slump God. This is the first track off of his Beware the Book of Eli mixtape. The lyrics on this are ridiculously absurd, but hilarious. Talking about drowning somebody in a sea of lost souls, making a lot of pop culture references throughout the track as well, and just culminating into one of my favorite mumble rap tracks that I've ever heard. Ridiculous, but acknowledging its ridiculousness at the exact same time. At number 10, it is The Mint by Earl Sweatshirt, a lyrical masterpiece perfected on top of an abstract and experimental beat. This is the literal and metaphorical centerpiece of the new album Some Rap Songs. Earl's flow on top of this is dripping and oozing all over the track, just seeping through the cutting grooves that manipulate this entire song. This is Earl at his best, especially when accompanied by the rest of the tracks on Some Rap Songs. At number 9, it is Bodies by Car Seat Headrest. This track went from being one of the most dull and unoriginal on the original 2011 release to being one of the most brilliantly energetic songs to come out in 2018. This track makes you want to dance like there's no tomorrow, but it still adds to the overall theme and message that the album was going for. Brilliant lyrics that feature very funny meta jokes about the structure of these tracks themselves, and capping off with an ending crescendo that could get anybody off their seat and onto their feet. At number 8, it is Blaxploitation by Noname, another majestically written track that came off of her Room 25 LP. Her rapid but effortless flow really ties the entire song and that amazing bass line all together. If I had to pick a best song with bass this year, it would have to be that song. I mean, that thing is so original, so funky, and Noname complements all of this by adding intriguing lyrics and using a funny skit to open the track. JPEG Mafia's Baby I'm Bleeding comes in at number 7. A long experimental instrumental goes on throughout the beginning of the track, turning into Peggy bursting through and screaming at the top of his lungs like Peggy is best at, talking about his newfound fame and still expressing his discontent with the political state of America in 2018. Definitely my favorite track from Veteran so far, and definitely one that could be a potential hit in the future. At number 6, it is Tyler the Creator back again with Okra, or Okra, I don't know. This is a very braggadocious track dropped by Tyler earlier this year. I think that it shows where Tyler stands after his release of Flower Boy. It's cool to see him go back into his old style of rapping extremely harshly, and was kind of a refresher from all of the tracks from Flower Boy, as amazing as they are. I don't know, I liked it. I thought it was a cool little update from Tyler, showing that he still got it, and he can pretty much make all of these songs whenever he wants and just drop them whenever he wants. At number 5, it is Charcoal Baby by Blood Orange. This is a fantastic R&B track talking about how nobody wants to be a person, an outcast, isolated by other people. And I think that the entire aura, the instrumentals around the song really portray that emotion. Really, really, really love this track. I still cannot get over that guitar lick. And again, it brings in and encapsulates all of the themes and ideas that Negro Swan has to offer. At number 4, it is Ghost Town by Kanye West featuring Party Next Door. This is one of my favorite songs of the year by far. Obviously, it's ranked number 4. But in all seriousness, I could not stop listening to this track throughout the summer and throughout the fall. It was Kanye's very cathartic way of expressing that he doesn't feel pain anymore, that he wants to move on and wants to better himself as a person. And the vocals from Kid Cudi as well as 070 Shake just meshed this song together into a beautiful masterpiece. And I mean, if you can't find yourself screaming at the top of your lungs the ending lyrics of the song with 070 Shake, I don't want to be friends with you. I'm sorry. And yet again, just another fantastic, well-produced track by Mr. Kanye West, Ye himself. At number 3, we have another Car Seat Headrest song, this time with Beach, Life, and Death. This track has always been good, even since the 2011 original release of it. And I was skeptical when they were re-releasing this album because I didn't want them to ruin that track. And they did the complete opposite. They made it longer and even better. At 13 minutes long, it is an onslaught of garage rock, a 3-act song culminating all together into a cathartic, blasting ending. Yes, 13 minutes sounds intimidating, but oh my god, you wish it was longer. Really setting up the entire theme and message of the album Twin Fantasy itself, and telling its own miniature story throughout the entire song as well. Overall, such a good track. It is worth every second that you listen to it, and you will enjoy it by the end of it, I guarantee, unless you hate music. Alright, number 2, it is Ghost by Jaden Smith. That's right, Jaden Smith is number 2 on this list because I'm unorthodox. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this single that he put out this year. I believe it is supposed to be on the new follow-up to the Sire album. But Ghost, while it is extremely braggadocious, over the top, and gaudy in almost every way, it is still Jaden Smith showing that he is taking strides to become a better musician and better artist in general. Even making direct references to him taking notes from Jay-Z about when and where to start and stop rapping. And the track represents all of these things that he's saying as well. It's not just blowing smoke up everybody. It's an extremely well-produced track that Jaden Smith has created here. His flows are awesome, they are smart, witty, and just outright boastful. I mean, it's It's just a really fun, cocky track, in all honesty. And I still cannot stop listening to it. I've had it on repeat for so long now. But one song that I think that I've had on repeat even more, as well as the rest of the world, number one is Mo Bamba by Sheck Wes. Oh, Luke, you picked the mainstream hit to be the number one. Yeah, I did. Because this track is fantastic. Sure, yes, it could just be a cardboard cutout. Yes, the lyrics do not give too much for the listener to marinate on or think about, but my God, is it a fun track. I'll take a fun track any day of the week, and this is it. And this is what created Sheck Wes, too. Without this track accidentally being uploaded onto SoundCloud and blowing up, we would have not have gotten Mudboy. We wouldn't have the cultural significance of having Mo Bamba as the number one song. I think that this track will be my best reminder of what 2018 meant, when mumble rap took to the mainstream and completely took it over. In some ways, horribly, and in some ways, like Mo Bamba, great. I hate those memes saying, oh, when I'm 40, I'll be driving my wife and Mo Bamba will come on and we'll look at each other. No, stop that stuff. But in this moment, in 2018, Mo Bamba means so much. It is a banger, it has brought a lot of people together, and overall it is just enjoyed by all, if not most. But yeah, that's my rant on the top 30 tracks of 2018. There were obviously so many tracks to choose from, so it was tough to pick them all. I might have missed one or two, and if you think that I did, let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, until next time, peace out, forever spinning, happy listening, I gotta go.